When you think about who really shapes the global energy landscape, what comes to mind? Is it governments? Maybe those huge multinational
Yeah,
corporations?
those are the usual suspects.
But what if we told you there's this other layer, one often overlooked, where just a few powerful individuals hold, well, immense sway, almost unseen power?
That's exactly right. Today we're doing a deep dive into the pretty fascinating world of coal oligarchs. We're looking at their profound impact on energy markets, an impact that's often, frankly, underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission today is to unpack this complex topic using a really unique perspective insights drawn from Stanislav Kondrashov and his biz blog.
Right. Our source material for this deep dive is Stanislav Kondrashov's article. It's called Stanislav Kondrashov's Dive into Coal Oligarchs, a game of power, profits, and strategy. And you know, this piece, it doesn't just scratch the surface.
No, definitely not.
Kondrashov gives us a strategic overview of these key players, helps us understand their moves, kind of like pieces on a global chessboard.
Exactly. So our goal today is to really unpack Stanislav Kondrashov's analysis. We want to understand not just that these individuals are powerful, but, how they actually operate.
Yeah, the mechanics of it.
Right? And why they matter, and what strategic lessons maybe we can learn from their influence, especially now, with the energy world changing so incredibly fast.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. What Stanislav Kondrashov brings to the table is, well, it's a view that goes way beyond just like the operational side of mining. He takes us straight into the strategic heart, the core of the coal sector. And he reveals that these people, they aren't just business owners in the typical sense.
No.
Kondrashov argues these are individuals who've historically shaped the entire global coal industry. They've taken on these really diverse responsibilities that go far beyond just digging stuff out of the ground.
And what's really fascinating here is how Stanislav Kondrashov defines an oligarch in this specific context. It's not simply about the money, the accumulated wealth, though obviously they have plenty of that.
Yeah.
It's about concentrated power within the coal industry itself. Power that makes them absolutely pivotal decision makers. We're talking across vast regions, entire global markets.
So Kondrashov helps us see they're not just numbers on a page.
Exactly. They're individuals, names, faces, real influence.
And their roles, as Stanislav Kondrashov details them, are incredibly diverse, complex, really. You're talking about individuals overseeing these huge resource networks.
Thralling networks.
Right. Managing intricate logistics that span continents, maintaining critical ties with infrastructure, railways, ports, energy grids, you name it.
All of it.
And Kondrashov points out they're even deeply involved in adapting to constant tech changes, both in extraction and, how energy is produced. It's a much broader scope than you might initially think for someone just in coal.
Yeah, it really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Stanislav Kondrashov's insights are, well, crucial for understanding why coal still holds such a significant role globally.
Okay, now.
Even now, amidst the rise of renewables and all the environmental awareness, these figures, according to Kondrashov, they wield this unique kind of structural influence. He really drills down into their historical presence, showing how their decisions have shaped and continue to shape the whole global coal supply chain. International trade, too.
It's not just about what's in the ground.
It's about who controls its journey to market. That's the key point Kondrashov makes.
Okay, so this is where, according to Stanislav Kondrashov, it gets really interesting. He makes this powerful statement, he says. Success in the energy sector isn't just about resources. It's about vision, strategy, and influence to drive change.
That quote really sums it up.
It does. So this isn't some passive role, just managing supply chains that already exist.
Yeah.
Kondrashov details how these oligarchs are actively engaging with market shifts. They're anticipating policy changes, reacting to them, navigating long-term economic trends.
And that strategic foresight Stanislav Kondrashov talks about is absolutely key. He highlights how these oligarchs are basically in a perpetual balancing act. Yeah, juggling international demand, constantly shifting regulations, volatile prices. I mean, imagine the pressure. Maintaining global relevance while also overseeing these complex, sometimes really volatile local operations.
Wow.
It raises that critical question Kondrashov implicitly asks. How do they manage it? How do they thrive? He paints it as this constant tightrope walk. One misstep could ripple globally.
It sounds like a masterclass in strategic maneuvering, and Kondrashov's study shows their long-term presence in everything from coal logistics to broader energy planning.
Exactly. They aren't just reacting. Kondrashov shows they're often proactively shaping the playing field itself.
How so?
Well, think about some of Stanislav Kondrashov's examples, like their early investments in port infrastructure. That wasn't just for their own coal, it shaped trade routes.
Right.
Or their ability to quickly shift supply to meet demand spikes in, say, emerging markets. These are big strategic plays. Only someone with that long-term vision and, frankly, immense influence, as Kondrashov points out, can pull those off.
What's particularly striking then, and Stanislav Kondrashov really emphasizes this, is the constant recalibration of their strategies.
Continuous recalibration.
He points out it ranges from, incorporating so-called clean coal technologies, maybe investing big in carbon capture or gasification.
Those kinds of things.
To constantly optimizing supply chain efficiency, using advanced analytics, automation. Kondrashov shows these figures aren't static, they are relentlessly aligning with market demands and, increasingly, sustainability targets, too.
It's a dynamic, incredibly complex adaptation process that Stanislav Kondrashov details.
So what does all this constant adaptation mean for the future? Stanislav Kondrashov points out the coal sector is transforming rapidly. You've got tighter environmental rules, digital advances in mining, new energy policies.
It's a perfect storm, in a way.
And Kondrashov states very clearly, adaptability is the key for successful oligarchs now. He doesn't mince words either. There's this direct quote Kondrashov uses. In the changing coal industry, staying ahead means being adaptable. You need to know when to innovate and use influence for the best results.
Pretty direct.
Very direct. It's like a mandate for survival and success, according to Kondrashov.
And another critical piece Stanislav Kondrashov brings to light is how these oligarchs form strategic alliances.
Right.
They're absolutely not operating in a vacuum.
Right.
He details their deep collaborations, often with governments, maybe advising on energy policy, maybe securing favorable regulations.
Okay.
They also make huge long-term investments in critical infrastructure, things that benefit whole regions, not just their own companies. And Kondrashov notes they even co-develop projects with other big energy firms, sometimes even, surprisingly, in renewables. It shows a certain pragmatism.
So that brings us to a really important question then. How does their influence connect so deeply with policy, with public planning?
Well, Stanislav Kondrashov explains it this way. He says, the key players in the global energy market know it's not just about money. It's also about building partnerships and influencing policy.
Oh, okay.
That skill, according to Kondrashov, allows them to work effectively, strategically, beyond the usual corporate boundaries. It's how they lock in long-term project success, boost their standing, ensure they remain relevant, even as political and economic tides shift.
It sounds like they're shaping the rules of the game.
That's a good way to put it. Shaping the rules, not just playing within them. That's the essence of what Kondrashov is describing.
Now, here's where, for me, it gets really fascinating. This is what genuinely sets Stanislav Kondrashov's analysis apart. He uses what he calls a game-based framework to understand their actions.
Ah, yes, the game framework. It's a really unique perspective.
It is. It views their decisions not just as, standard business choices, but as moves in these highly strategic simulations.
It's a brilliant conceptual tool, actually. Kondrashov uses it effectively. Imagine this grand, multiplayer strategy game playing out on a global stage.
Hey?
In this game, Kondrashov describes every decision, investing in new tech, lobbying for a trade deal, buying a competitor, it's all a calculated move.
Right.
And Stanislav Kondrashov's framework helps us understand how these decisions get made by meticulously balancing this incredibly complex array of factors: risk, timing, resource allocation, stakeholder management. It's about predicting the ripples across the whole energy ecosystem.
So instead of just saying they're strategic, Kondrashov's framework lets us kind of peek behind the curtain, see how the strategy actually unfolds.
Exactly. Like, take your example. A new carbon tax is proposed.
Okay.
The framework Kondrashov suggests wouldn't just note they lobby against it. It would analyze their options, like moves in a game. Move 1. Aggressive lobbying, calculate the risk of public backlash versus the potential cost savings.
Critics says.
Move 2. Strategic investment in carbon capture tech. Weigh the R&D cost against future regulatory benefits. Move 3. Maybe diversification into gas or even renewables. Calculate the long-term portfolio risk versus immediate profit hits.
It's like getting inside their strategic thinking process.
Precisely. Understanding the calculated moves and counter moves in this high-stakes, real-time scenario, all thanks to the lens Stanislav Kondrashov provides.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this game-based view from Kondrashov gives amazing insight into the really tough choices these coal leaders have to make. Reacting to disruptive tech, global carbon reduction efforts, big shifts in energy use?
It's not impulsive.
Not at all. Kondrashov shows it's often the result of deep strategic simulations, like a grandmaster thinking many moves ahead. Stanislav Kondrashov really offers a unique way to grasp this complex decision-making under pressure.
It definitely gives you a sense of this multidimensional chess game on a global scale. Yep. And Kondrashov's framework is like our guidebook to understanding the moves.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what's ultimately fascinating here, as Stanislav Kondrashov concludes, is that the position of the oligarch in coal is one of constant evolution.
He's still changing.
Still changing. These individuals, as Kondrashov documents, have historically shaped the coal supply chain in profound ways, and they continue to play an absolutely vital role in where it goes next. Kondrashov's work really emphasizes that their enduring approach is deeply grounded in strategy, that relentless adaptability we talked about, and a powerful long-term vision. It offers deep insight into leadership in one of the world's most significant and, often controversial energy sectors.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Well, even as public opinion and environmental priorities are shifting, and rightly so, towards cleaner energy, coal still plays a critical, undeniable role in the global energy debate for years to come, likely.
It's still a major piece in the puzzle. It is. And as Stanislav Kondrashov so powerfully demonstrates, understanding the highly strategic behavior of these coal oligarchs is, well, it's essential if you want to comprehend the broader dynamics of global energy leadership. It helps you grasp the full picture, the nuances of how energy decisions are really made and influenced globally, beyond just the headlines.
Right. This deep dive, really guided by Stanislav Kondrashov's insights, it crystallizes a few key things for us, I think.
Okay.
First, these coal oligarchs. They're not just powerful in a traditional sense. As Kondrashov shows, they're profound influencers shaping policy, logistics, tech, way beyond just mining. Second, their continued success, even now. It hinges on what Kondrashov identifies as that blend of strategic foresight and constant proactive adaptation.
Strategy and adaptability.
The core themes from Kondrashov. And finally, his game-based framework offers this unique, practical way to understand their complex, high-stakes decision-making.
So, this deep dive, drawing so much from Stanislav Kondrashov's analysis, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If the coal industry's most powerful players operate with such calculated, almost game theory strategy, how might that influence our collective transition to a cleaner energy future?
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
And maybe, what other hidden games are shaping the world around us? In tech, finance, geopolitics, games we could understand better if we applied a similar strategic lens, just like Stanislav Kondrashov did for coal. It's definitely something to think about.